mark. 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mac.
Thank you. It's an early edition of Duck Insider. Mike Jorgensen is here. Jerry Allen.
He's never looked better.
Jerry is, we're told, on his way up. I think he was down at Fast Friday for football practice. So we've done this to Jorgie a time or two, where we've said, okay, it's time to make our Sylvan Ridge Winery picks. What do you think, Jorg? USC, Colorado, Washington State, Cal, Washington, Oregon State, Arizona State, UCLA. Who's Jerry picking?
Jerry's picking Colorado. He's picking Washington. He's picking Washington State, and he's picking Arizona State.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Those, by the way, are all the underdogs, according to the Vegas odds makers this morning. So
we'll
those
see
are
how
your
he
Sylvan
does.
Ridge Winery picks, and we're going to wrap things up and now get ready for Oregon and Stanford coming up down on the farm. 12:30 kickoff on ABC. Looking forward to it. The Ducks and the Cardinal.
Yeah, I feel good about my picks. I don't know how Jerry's going to feel about the picks we made.
Great. I feel great about my picks. I didn't think that there were too many tough ones to pick this week. I feel really, really good.
He even took Arizona. That's what I can't believe.
I know.
Okay?
He took
and they
Arizona.
don't even play this week.
They're not playing. Oh, man. What a time to be alive. It's a Friday. Thanks for joining us a little early if you're watching the show live. Jorgie's here. Jerry's over there. He's going to come up here. But our Sylvan Ridge Winery picks are officially in the book, so I'm not really sure what Jerry's going to do on the show except tell you his keys to an Oregon victory over Stanford. And in all seriousness, Jorgie, this is a big-time game. The Ducks,
it is
a little bit healthier. Sounds like Stanford's going to get the running back core back, according to David Shaw. That means they're a little bit healthier, and this is a matchup of really the two best teams in the North the last 2 decades.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I just think this is a dangerous 2-2 Stanford team. Just the way they play, the way they line up, the matchups are always difficult for anybody that plays them, whether it be the big offensive line and the running backs and or the big wide receivers, and always the physical tight ends that can play outside, that can play inside, the elephant packages they show you. It's just such a difficult matchup for anybody to play against, and I tell you, it's going to be a big-time matchup, Joey.
Jerry Allen's here, ladies and
Look
gentlemen.
at that.
You made it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you work out at Fast Friday today?
Yeah, I worked out from the parking lot up the stairs. That's a long way.
You're looking – well, you didn't look as good as you did a minute ago when you weren't in that chair. So
Oh, what?
Wait, when you weren't there, I said, he's never looked better.
Well, you are.
You know,
We did
well,
the same
hey,
thing to him last
that's
week.
right.
So,
That's
you know.
right.
You know, one of these days,
That's right.
I'm just going to not be here at the start of the show.
We want to do that to you and just see what
I
you
am
can have
fascinated what's going to happen
Yeah.
when that's the case. It will be pure and
Yeah, we'll put a lock on the door if you don't show up.
so. Oh, that's so
You
funny
won't
that
get
you
in.
said that, because when you said on my way up, I said to Scott, "Do we have time to lock the door?" Because then we would have just had to put a mic over there and just hear a banging on the door. You know,
I'm here.
So, Jerry, just so you know, because you were not here when we did our picks, you picked Colorado, Washington State, Washington, and Arizona State. You
It's
also picked
amazing.
Arizona.
That's who I would have. Yeah.
So you were going for the underdogs.
Those aren't bad picks, really.
No, they
No.
are.
No.
This week,
Very well could have been.
you never know.
Very well could have been a thing. So, Silver Ridge Winery picks, though, we're going to get to that. But really, this is a huge matchup for Oregon. Jorge, you talked about it, just the way that these two teams match up, and I also think that heading into the bye week, this is a big opportunity for the Ducks to be where they want to be going into that bye week. I think this is a huge matchup.
Yeah, I mean it is, and again, it's two teams that love to play physical football. And as much as I, sometimes want to say the line of scrimmage, and I think the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for both teams is going to be a key, because Stanford, even though they've leaned a little bit more towards the passing game over the last few games and even towards the tail end of last year, they're not running it nearly as prolifically as they used to. They still have the ability to do it. They still have the ability to try to bully you at the line of scrimmage. So maybe it really does come down to Oregon's pass game this week. Do they have the ability to hit some big plays? Jalen Reds was a big play, but it was between the safeties, break a couple of tackles, and off to the run. How about over the top and hit one of those and see if you can make that happen? And again, Tanner McKee is the same guy.
Yeah.
Same way. They like to make big plays, and they've got guys to be able to do it, no doubt about it.
Coaches have talked a lot about how they really like what Tanner McKee brings to the table. I think one of the better quarterbacks talent-wise, maybe not experience-wise, that Oregon has seen so far.
Well, I made the comment yesterday talking to head coach Mario Cristobal that he reminds me with his body, his looks, his intelligence, the way he can run or throw the ball, of one Justin Herbert. I mean,
you can't say that.
No, but they resemble each other in their talent level, and he's got a very high end that's still coming. He's still a young guy.
At this point in their career,
yeah,
right?
At this point in their career, not at the end of the career because he's just getting into it. But he's more mature, a couple of years away on a mission. So I think this, you mentioned the trenches, I think this does come down to more of a trenches, because I think Stanford's got some big guys. They like to run triple tight end with a fullback, run that elephant package. First down's going to be key. I asked Coach yesterday, I said, your feet, your pad level, and all the fundamentals you have on the offensive or defensive line are going to be the most critical part of this game. And he said, without a doubt, if you can't fundamentally hold the line of scrimmage, then everything else will work for your opponent. So
I don't like you comparing Tanner McKee to Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert's pretty good.
So I think McKee is too.
Yeah.
He
At this point in his career, that's the thing about it.
And he is a lot older, right? I mean, it's an
Yes.
interesting story because he took that mission for 2 years, so he's probably the oldest sophomore out there, at least one of them.
Older but less experienced.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Will make more mistakes because he just doesn't have that experience yet.
Yeah.
Stanford started real slow offensively against UCLA last week. Talking with Scott Reese, the voice of the Cardinal on Duck Insider yesterday, he said, if you start with 5 3 and outs, you're usually not going to win a whole lot of games. So they are susceptible. And I think, guys, that actually might be the biggest key to the game for me. Oregon's defense, we know, they're leading the country in takeaways. The Ducks are plus 12 in turnover margin right now. The Ducks have made big plays, particularly in the red zone. They've taken the ball away more than I think an average team, or really an above-average team, would think that you could do. Ducks have made plays when they need to. But I think that the coaches would also say you'd like to have the defense get off the field before you get into the red zone. Coach Cristobal has talked about that now a couple times coming off the field with me at halftime. They'd like to get off the field maybe on some of those third down attempts.
Giving up too many third downs, too many fourth downs.
Yeah, third downs and fourth downs, you're right. I mean, 4 for 4 last week is what Arizona was. And all of a sudden, when you're running 88 offensive plays, that's what Arizona ran. Oregon ran 55. I mean, that's a remedy for getting really tired defensively. And against a team like this, again, these two teams love to be physical at the line of scrimmage. We've seen it all throughout our career. And particularly with Stanford, probably more than anybody in this league, is they love to just bleed you. I mean, just slow. It's like a slow death in a way. I mean, they just hold the ball, run play after play. But I still think that Tanner McKee makes a difference in this offense. I can't believe he didn't start the first game.
Yeah.
Jack West actually did. When you see what McKee has done, hasn't thrown a pick. Maybe Oregon needs to change that this week.
Well, and I think that's part of it. I mean, Oregon has the nation's leader in interceptions individually with Verone McKinley, a guy who's tied for third in interceptions nationally with Bennett Williams. I think that getting the pressure on him is going to be key, too. And it sounds like Ducks are going to have a lot more weapons to rush the passer this time around.
They could have some healthier bodies back in, a little more depth in some of those rush-ins. I hope that's the case. We're going to wait and see instead of say that's going to happen, but I feel good about it. But I'll say this. I think Oregon's defense is not given enough credit in one area, and that is last week against a team that can do explosion plays. With the quarterback they had, the receivers they had, Oregon only gave them one explosion play. So if they're going to make you do 11, 12, 14, or 15 plays to get down and score, I like Oregon's chances of getting a turnover.
Sooner or later, you're going to make a mistake offensively if you force an offense that many plays on a drive.
That's right.
Yep.
And if you're the Ducks, I think you want to get the run game too, right? Run game going too, right, Jerry?
Well, Jerry said first down too, in particular.
First down. Yeah, you want to stop their first down. You don't want them in second and short because that's when they bring everybody in and roll you. But for the Ducks, first down, you got to get first down.
Yeah.
You get first down, and you got a lot more stuff in your playbook.
Yeah, 5-6 yards on first down makes all the difference.
Yeah.
I gave you a golden opportunity there to say you have to run the ball, and you just
I don't
glazed
do
right
that.
over
That's
it.
his. No, that's not. Hey,
I really thought that
They
you
will.
could just have that one this
They
week.
will.
have to throw the ball. Running.
I
is
went
his
away
thing.
from it just a little bit today.
Yeah, you did.
You know?
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was really
Yeah,
surprised.
I think.
But I think Oregon can run the ball this week.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, the worst rush defense in the conference is what they're going against now. And it's funny because Stanford's injuries, for the most part, are in the secondary defensively. You know, they got some problems there, and guys have filled in nicely in those positions, whereas the rush defense has been susceptible. So, and Coach Moorhead was talking this week about how, well, if you only have 55 offensive plays like the Ducks did, you figure if for sake of argument, you've got half of them are pass plays, well, you don't have that many carries to distribute amongst your running backs.
No.
So I think that's, to your point about getting better yardage on first down, that's going to lead to more carries for a guy like a C.J. Verdell to get that run game going.
Yep. And again, when you're Anthony Brown, when you have the opportunity to pitch the ball to Verdell, if that's the right read on the play, get it in a guy's hands that's a better athlete from a running perspective than you are. And Anthony Brown's a pretty good runner. C.J. Verdell obviously is at a different level.
Yeah. I think that it's going to be a friendly Duck crowd down there.
I do
I
too.
think it'll be huge.
Beautiful day too. It looks like.
Supposed to be 84 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah.
I'm bringing sunscreen, guys.
Bring 2 bottles. You'll need 2.
I already did.
Okay.
We've got 2 sprays of different SPF levels. We've also got a cream, and then we've got a travel one just in case one runs out.
Okay. Plus, he's got acid cream and he's got heating pad. So
That's
acid
right.
Cream, yeah, we're gonna.
I'm ready to go.
Icy hot.
Traveling
yeah.
like a champion. Traveling like a champion. You guys ready to make some picks, or what do
Yeah,
you think?
I am.
I already picked mine. Arizona's gonna win.
Yeah, that's right. Good. Good. And, Jorgie, we got a little surprise for you coming up, too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
It rivals.
What is that?
Jerry, I'm telling
I
you.
have no idea.
This rivals you getting hit in the head with a flag.
Oh no!
Really?
What would?
Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Wow.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a country financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mac here inside the Country Financial Studio, along with Jerry Allen and Mike Jorgensen. Just for reference, Scott, do you have Jerry getting hit in the head with a flag, just so we can say what we're comparing this to?
That hurts just to watch it.
Give him a second. This was one of the greatest moments in Duck Insider history, and it was a complete accident, thanks to Scott having. I was going to say bad aim, but maybe it was actually great aim.
My attorney contacted yours yet?
Parched. I worked hard for half
You
hour.
did, yeah. 3 picks.
Good work.
3 picks.
Well done. Averaged a.
Oh, right. And he caught the deflection, too, didn't he?
That was nice. Thank you. That's
You
an
hear it.
interception.
You can hear it go.
Well done.
Oh, man.
Well done.
Yes, to this day.
Right off the You could just play that for hours and hours, and I would laugh every time.
So to this day, one of the best moments in Duck Insider
I
history.
just know if I hadn't ducked down, it would have hit me right between the eyes.
And I believe that was the origin of our buddy Tobiah in the comments saying, I think we always need ibuprofen on Fridays for picks. It wasn't just because we take the show off the rails and it gives everybody a headache. I think Jerry physically had a headache.
My attorney will be contacting yours. It's still out there.
I thought that was still. You're not supposed to comment on that. It's still in litigation.
How long ago was that? Because there's a statute, obviously.
Oh, no. It wasn't that long ago.
That was year 1 in the studio. So, no.
2 years ago.
I think it was 3 years ago.
Sorry, too late.
I think it was 3 years ago.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I don't know. The point is, it's our Sylvan Ridge Winery picks every Friday. Join us. We'll do keys to an Oregon victory, and then we'll also do picks for the entire Pac-12 conference. And things are interesting right now, and we have one that really is – I think similar to that now that we're going to have on repeat just every time that Jorgie brings a certain thing up. So we'll get that in a second. We got some time, and then I have to say that I went looking for another quote of yours, and I'm gonna have to reach out to our old buddy Bryant Williams, who used to be the board operator back in the radio uplink in the OSN studio, because he had a recording of one of the greatest Jorgie lines via phone ever. Jerry probably remembers what I'm talking about because we used to play it as a drop.
Oh,
and
I think I do.
We really needed this particular drop to reinforce what we're going to play later, but I had to give you the context now so that you can all wait on pins and needles.
Where are we?
Yeah, where are we?
Jorgie is currently tied for first place.
Yes.
So
how about that?
I went back.
Move I made.
I went back and did a little bit of digging.
It's been a long time.
Research.
The last time Jorgie was at least tied for first place when we weren't all 0-0 was week 1 of 2020. Actually,
that's not that far back.
That's not that long ago.
No.
Yeah,
okay.
you beat me and Jerry 2-1 in correct picks in week 1, which was
there were a lot of games last year. 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Yeah.
So
a lot of games.
The last time you were in first place was heading into the week of November 14th, which was week 2.
Yeah.
Last year.
That's something.
Somebody canceled games. There's only 3 games, right?
Right. Exactly. So anyway, Jorgie is now though after a perfect week. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
done.
It's been a long time.
Picking the Beavers, I might add.
Which brings me
the
to
Huskies.
And the Huskies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which brings me to, this is what Jorgie said on a show this year about picking the Beavers.
I think Oregon State gets it. And if they lose, I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again.
One more time, just so we make sure everyone in the back.
Pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I think Oregon State gets it. And if they lose, I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again. I'll never pick them again.
Just want to have
you
that.
Guys.
But they lost. And then what happened? He picked them again.
Like I told you, you get hungry sooner or later, right? I mean, I gave up a point on the Hawaii game.
You did.
I mean, I couldn't believe I picked Hawaii because I did try to stick with I'll never pick them again, and that's why I'm not in first place. So I'm not going to do that again.
All right, so we've got to make some picks. Jorgie is in first place because now do you remember the drop that I was referring to? Liar.
Oh, that's right.
Jorgie one time, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what you were referencing. when you via the phone, you just said,
I called somebody a liar.
Yeah.
And I think you were talking to Jerry.
Yes, he was.
But I have I was hoping you would remember, Jerry. I don't remember what the context was. I just remember that Bryant got the recording, and we had it forever. And for the life of me, I couldn't find it in my own archive.
We played it a lot, too.
We did.
Good. I'm glad you haven't found it.
I think you might just have to replicate it.
Yeah.
So that would have been that I want everyone to know was the original plan when Scott and I set out on this endeavor, heading into
a lot of wasted time. There's no doubt about that.
That's right. So Jorgie with a perfect week though. He picked UCLA, Washington, Oregon State, Utah, and Arizona State. Jerry missed by picking USC. I missed by picking Cal and Oregon State. The coin went 4-1.
Wow.
That means I get to pick last this week.
That's crazy.
The coin only missed on Cal. Coin was correct on everything else.
Overtime away from being perfect.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
So the coin currently sits in last place with 20 correct picks heading into week 5. Jerry sits in third place with 22 correct picks.
2 away from the coin.
The coin's been good.
Yes.
And Jorgie and I are tied with 23 correct picks. And for the first time in a long time, I'm going to pick last this week.
It's a game.
So you've got to pick first.
Wow.
And followed by Jerry, then the coin, then me. And Jerry, I've made a decision. I hope that you'll second. I think Jorgie's got to flip the coin this week.
Yeah, the guy who's won last week should flip the coin.
Yeah,
right?
I think that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Jeez, thanks. Hope
Yeah,
I can catch it.
So Jorgie's going to flip the coin, and inevitably we'll lose it in the lights, and it's going to make a real loud clanking noise.
That's
somewhere.
an easy one because it's got a hat for heads and an eagle for tails. That's the way that works.
So there's where we stand. That was our very long-winded introduction to our Sylvan Ridge Winery picks. And everyone, if you're still with us, thanks for staying afloat.
Staying there.
Thanks for staying afloat. 11 a.m. on the Pac-12 Network. 2-2 and 1-2 in Pac-12 play. USC visits Colorado. 1-3, 0-1 in conference action. It's at Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. Looks like Slovis is going to be back. Not sure that it matters. USC a 7.5-point favorite. Mike Jorgensen.
Boy, only 7.5. That's amazing. You know what? I'll tell you, if it was USC at Colorado in the middle of November, I might take Colorado in this game just because of the cold weather, and right now USC struggling a little bit. There may be a little bit of unrest within the program with the way things are happening, even though they got beat by a good Oregon State team. I'll tell you that. So I don't they are. I just don't think Colorado could score enough points. They just have not found the offense to be able to do it, and I think they'll get better as the season goes on offensively. They play good, solid defense, but I just don't think they can score enough points to keep up in this game. I'm taking the Trojans on the road.
You're up.
My turn?
Yep.
Not all that hard of a pick. USC just has better talent across the board. Now, they haven't always put it together. They've had some unrest, coaching changes, and just situations. But they just have better talent. And overall, I think better talent has a better chance to win the game. And Colorado's struggling this year on top of that. So, likewise, I'm going to go with USC.
All right. Coin?
Coin. I got to catch this now, don't I? Oh, those lights get in the way, don't they?
Yes, they do.
That looks like tails.
Tails. Road team. USC.
Good call.
I'm also taking USC. I think that USC has got a lot of turmoil. I don't think that it matters because USC is just more talented than Colorado. And I agree, Jorgie. I don't think Colorado is going to score more than 2 touchdowns in this game. And USC, one would think, will score more than that, but we'll find out. Yeah. Next game in the Sylvan Ridge Winery picks on the schedule would be Oregon Stanford. You already heard our keys to the game. It's going to be on ABC. We won't pick it because we're calling it. But, guys, I think it's safe to say all the games we're going through, Oregon is the banner carrier in the Pac-12 right now.
Right now.
And
Keep
the
it up.
Pac-12 is in a position because of the way that the Ducks have played and the way that the pollsters are ranking the Ducks. The Pac-12 is probably above the ACC right now in a lot of those postseason projections.
Definitely.
Got to love to see that.
Yeah.
And, by the way, Oklahoma sure looks susceptible, don't they?
Yeah, they're not overpowering the way they have been. I mean, they're going to have a bad loss, maybe 2. I just don't see them going through a season the way they have been.
Which
Not scoring a lot of points, are they? Which is the unusual thing about it.
And it would be helpful for the Pac-12 if one of those Big 12 teams went down. So Oregon, Stanford on ABC, and then at 2:30, which I love the way that the schedule actually, in all seriousness, stacks up. Because, guys, listen to these kick times. 11 a.m., 12:30, 2:30, 6, 7:30. You're basically going to get to watch at least the second half of every Pac-12 game, which is awesome for the fan viewing experience. So 2:30 on the Pac-12 network. 1-3 Washington State, 0-2 in conference play visits Cal. 1-3, 0-1 in Pac-12 play. They could have had that last week. It's going to be in Berkeley. Cal, a 7.5-point favorite. Jorgie?
Cal's playing some good football right now. I mean, I just think they're playing really solid football. Close loss to TCU on the road. Close loss in overtime this last week to the Huskies. I just think that they're getting better and better. Chase Garbers is playing a lot better. He threw for over 300 yards last week, and he's not a guy that throws for over 300 a lot, but he's starting to kind of build his confidence right now too. So I think Cal's good in this one, going to take down the Cougs, who play their second consecutive road game after going to Utah and getting beat last week. So I'm taking the Bears at home.
All right. Not very hard, not very difficult. I like Chase Garbers. I think he's getting better, as Jorgie said. I think he controls the game. I think being at home helps them a lot.
Didn't against Nevada.
Well, it was early season. I think they're getting better, but there's no really good win for Washington State. They haven't played well yet, and I'm not sure that they've got the quarterback play they need to keep up with Cal at Cal. So I'm gonna go with Cal.
Coin?
Oh, that's right.
That was a terrible flip. Flip it again.
It's got to go at least 5 feet in the air.
There you go.
That's a good one.
Ooh, I almost dropped that. Tails.
Tails, the road team in Washington State.
Oh, coin. Come on.
So here's the thing. I have picked Cal because I am a big Garbers fan. That's a guy who wins football games. They always seem to get it done when he was the starting quarterback. And I've referenced the stat before that in games that he finishes, Cal's really good. Hasn't been the case this year. Cal's defense not quite as good as we've seen in years past. Obviously, defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter now here at Oregon. I think that makes a difference. Cal has burned me now. I picked Cal against Nevada. I also did pick TCU, which, would have been nice for the Pac-12 to get one. And then Cal burned me against last week.
Sounds like the Beaver thing in you.
With Washington. So
you're never going to pick him again?
I'm not picking Cal. I'm picking against Washington State in this case.
Whatever.
And I'm going with Cal.
He just came in the back door.
I learned from the best.
You just
When we come back, Sylvan Ridge Winery picks continue. We've got Arizona State, UCLA, and what might be the battle for the Pac-12 South here early in the season. And Washington, Oregon State, guys. Jorgie. Jerry or Jorgie, who knows? Jorgie cannot pick both of Oregon's rivals because he's got to pick only one of them this time around.
And I know who I'm picking.
Back after this in the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages.
It's been so long!
Nope, sorry Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Friday edition of Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. For live with us in the 11 a.m. hour. Thanks for joining us. Doing the show a little early because we got a plane to catch, guys. Oregon Stanford coming up, 12:30 kickoff on ABC, 10:30 pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Anthony Brown, Bennett Williams going to be featured on the pregame show with Terry Johns this week. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be a good time. Also, Jim Mastro, some great stuff on the Oregon young running backs, by the way, guys. Full disclosure, Terry already talked to Coach Mastro, so I may have heard the interview, and you're going to really enjoy it. Good. Did I just ruin it for people?
No,
okay.
Can't wait to listen.
No, yeah, it's going to be a good time. All right, we got to continue with our Sylvan Ridge Winery picks. Sylvan Ridge Winery, diverse selection of wines representing the very best of the South Willamette Valley. The evening window, 6 o'clock on the Pac-12 Network. 2-2 Washington, 1-0 in Pac-12 play. Visits Oregon State, 3-1, 1-0 in Pac-12 play. Jorgie, the line has moved a lot according to the odds makers. What do you think it is right now?
I think it's the Beavers by a touchdown.
Really?
Beavers 3.5.
Beavs by 1.5 right now.
Oh,
they're dropping it.
It has really,
so it's
really
come
dropped.
down.
It's come down.
Yeah.
It's in Corvallis, 6 o'clock kickoff.
What do you think, Scott?
Some injuries we don't know about?
No, heck no, there's no injuries. The Beavers are confident right now. They are confident in their run game. Nolan at the quarterback position playing some really good defense, or decent defense, I should say. And but just from a standpoint of protecting the quarterback, tackles for loss against their offense, it's amazing. I mean, they didn't have one against USC last week, have had less than double digits in 4 games so far this year. Washington, not real good on the road, gaining confidence because they're scoring some points, but they scored their points against Arkansas State and against Cal. I think they're going to see a little bit better Oregon State defense. I think they're going to see a way better Oregon State offense. It's at home. The Beaver believers are going to be out in droves in Corvallis. I'm taking the Beavers. I'll never pick them again. I'm taking the Beavs. I tell you, it's the lesser of two evils for me. Right?
Oh, no, I would agree.
I mean, if you're a Duck fan, it's the lesser of two evils.
If you'd have picked Washington, you'd still say the same thing. It's the lesser of two evils.
No, I might not have said that. I might not have said that. There is one that's more evil than the other.
Okay,
so.
all right.
But doesn't it change every year depending on
Empire.
what's
Yeah.
happening?
No, I tell you, the Beavs are playing some good football right now, and I think they continue.
They are.
My turn?
It is.
I would like to defer.
You can't.
Okay. Nolan's really good. 72%, 9 touchdowns, only 2 picks. Getting more and more efficient. He's got some receivers. They're running the ball really well, too. I just think they're getting better and better on offense. Washington's Dylan Morris can throw the ball, but he has not been able to find a teammate or two that he can really count on. They're okay, but they're just – if they were at Seattle, I would pick Washington. They're at Oregon State. I'm going to pick the Beavers.
Scott's in pain over there. He must not like that pick or something. I asked him for his opinion. All he does is moan.
I don't like either team, so I can't really pick.
Okay.
Coin?
Oh, coin. That's right. I'm gonna look this way. Oh,
there you go.
That was a pretty good one, wasn't it? That looks like tails to me.
It looks like.
Well, it's not a hat.
It's not
I can't see it because I don't have my glasses on, but I know it's not a hat.
That's the road team in Washington. Yeah, Jerry picked out the stat that I was going to bring up, and that's that Nolan's throwing the ball at a 72% completion rate. He's been very, very efficient, and I think a lot of Beaver fans would say that if he was quarterback in Game 1, Beavers are undefeated right now.
Should be.
Yeah.
I think that they should be as well. I think Oregon State's going to win at home because the Beavs are playing good football offensively. I was surprised, guys. The over-under is 57.5. I thought they'd score a few more points than that.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to score more points than that, and that's part of why I say when it comes down to it, when this game's close in the fourth quarter, I think the Beavs' defense makes a play, and I think that Oregon State's offense scores enough points to win the game. I'm going to take the Beavs.
I think Oregon State's going to pick 1 or 2 interceptions. I mean, Morris is throwing 6 touchdowns, but he's thrown 6 picks.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Beavers can score on him defensively. Make it a 6 pick. A sick pick?
A sick pick?
Get a sick pick.
Nice one.
7:30 on Fox Sports 1.
What is a sick pick?
I have no idea.
6-pack.
Yeah.
Pick 6?
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever. Let's go to the next one. And by the way,
meanwhile, back
do you
at
notice
the ranch,
that? Do you notice
they're
I have?
going bananas.
Yeah, I'm going to pull a number 6. You guys got to notice I have not.
Okay.
I have not passed yet.
Order in the court.
I have not.
Hey, we can tell when you do. It's obvious.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
What?
What's that about?
Oh, I thought that's what
I
you were
get
talking
blamed for things that I don't
that's
do.
What he was talking about.
I get blamed for too many things
You
that
mean
are
you
not
haven't deferred? No.
Just I don't know why I get blamed for those things. But what's
You
the
do
next
know
game, by the way?
why.
Did you throw the flag?
He did.
I missed it.
Oh yeah,
He did.
I ducked out of the way.
It curves to the left.
You may
when
have to throw it again, so you get it back.
Oh, nice throw. How you doing, Joey?
Where were we?
7:30.
Are you going to defer?
Fox Sports 1.
I don't know what the game is yet.
7:30 on Fox Sports 1, live from the Rose Bowl. Arizona State 3-1, 1-0 in the Pac-12. Number 20 UCLA 3-1, also 1-0 in Pac-12 play. That loss to Fresno State, though, looming overhead right now. 88 degrees at kickoff at 7:30.
Wouldn't it be great under the lights?
UCLA
in the Rose Bowl,
3-point favorite.
That's it
against ASU.
Wow, 2 former NFL coaches going up head-to-head, which doesn't happen very often. The best matchup in the league other than Oregon Stanford this week.
Tobias comment, wondering if your guys' coffee has fermented a bit.
A bit?
There's a good chance. There's a good chance of that.
Continue, please, Jordan.
Well, I just, UCLA's at home. Jaden, look forward to the matchup of 2 very athletic quarterbacks. I think that's the thing about it. But UCLA just feels like they've got too many offensive weapons with, Charbonnet, right?
Yes.
Charbonnet. I always want to say Charbonnet for some reason. It looks like it.
That's a paper plate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Charbonnet at running back, Dulcich at tight end, Phillips at wide receiver, DTR at quarterback. I can't name a single defensive player, mind you, because all I can think of is offense. But I just think they outscore Arizona State. At home, I think UCLA is a better team. I think they establish who probably the best team in the South Division is, and I believe that's UCLA. I'm taking the Bruins at home.
Whew. By the way, it's China, not Carbonate.
So if I am in the lead again next week, which I fully expect to be, do I get 2?
No.
No, that was
There's no carryover?
Never discussed. No.
That was never discussed?
No.
Scott, was that ever discussed?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was.
No.
Okay, well, I'm taking UCLA.
Blew your chance. Okay.
Jerry's turn.
Joey's hurting right now.
Yeah.
This is a tough one to pick. Jaden Daniels, I thought coming into the season would have a much better season. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. He's been sacked 5 times. He's not getting the support from his offensive line or receivers, or something's not there for Arizona State. Their defense is pretty good. But the unknown for me is DTR. He came out at the end of that UCLA-Stanford game really hurt, and I don't know if he's going to be able to play. Maybe they find a way to get him ready. If DTR plays, UCLA wins that ball game, and I think easily. If he doesn't play, it's a toss-up. So, wow, what do you do? It's at UCLA. I'm going to go with UCLA because I think Arizona State just hasn't played well enough yet this year to say they can beat UCLA in the Rose Bowl.
Coin? Good flip.
That was a two-handed catch, so I cheated. That looks like heads.
Heads, home team, UCLA. So the coin's taking USC, UCLA, Washington, and Washington State. Jerry and Jorgie going identical with USC, UCLA, Oregon State, and Cal. That's a chance.
Yeah, you can make a little pick here.
Yeah,
make a move.
So Los Angeles Times said that Dorian Thompson-Robinson did practice days after he got hurt, and he kind of, I thought, really willed them to victory against Stanford. Yeah. I thought that was a pretty gutty performance, and to be honest, it was kind of eerily reminiscent of what Jake Haener did against UCLA, the Fresno State quarterback, when they lost that game by a field goal. I think UCLA is the better team. I think that it's funny. I thought that Arizona State would score a lot this year with Daniels, and I thought their run game was pretty good. They haven't been that. And I think UCLA's defense, I don't know if I'd call it a surprise. I think Jorgie maybe said it week 2, like, hey, I think their defense is better than we all think.
Yeah.
I think that UCLA is all around the better team. I'm going to take the Bruins as well. And to be honest, guys, I think part of the reason I'm taking UCLA is a little bit of wishful thinking, because I really want UCLA to be good so that Oregon has a great matchup with them coming up in the end of October. Yeah. It is October 1st, by the way, guys. Happy spooky season. It's Jerry's favorite time of year.
Wow, candy, candy, candy.
So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of wishful thinking on my part. I hope that UCLA can stay a really highly ranked team because it could really help Oregon's schedule here moving forward, too. So,
their backup QB is not too bad. Yeah. We saw him here at Autzen Stadium last year. So
true.
Yeah.
USC, UCLA, Oregon State, Cal for all of us. So it's going to be the same standings and picks, which means that Jorgie is going to pick first next week, unless
the coin
gets
Washington
and
Washington
State.
Happen. That could happen.
If the coin gets Washington and Washington State, then the coin will be tied with Jerry.
Watch out! Watch out!
Gonna happen.
Those are your Sylvan Ridge Winery picks. Heritage of hospitality that spans nearly 4 decades and 3 generations, Sylvan Ridge Winery offers wine enthusiasts a diverse selection of wines representing the very best of the South Willamette Valley. Fellas, picks are done. You want to hang out for a look at the best team entrance in college football?
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Because that's what we're doing next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mac, along with Jerry Allen and Mike Jorgensen here in the Country Financial Studio. So, guys, last week I talked to you about how I made the worst decision of my entire career, which was doing a voiceover in the same video as Morgan Freeman also is featured in. Well, you know, they say history repeats itself. No pun intended, since we've been doing a look back on the history of some different things at Oregon, thanks to our friends at the History Channel. History repeated itself. I did a voiceover with Morgan Freeman.
You and Morgan again?
Yeah. So
I'd be proud of that.
So one voice is superior to the other, and it's not close in this video. But guys, we decided as part of our look back series, we're going to do a little bit of the history of the Duck and the entrance to Autzen Stadium, and how what was supposed to be a one-off became one of the best traditions I think that we have around Oregon. Kind of cool.
It's known around the country as one of the top game day traditions in all of college football. Since 1999, Doug Koke has ridden the Oregon decorated motorcycle across the Autzen Stadium turf, leading the team onto the field at each home game. Originally started by former Oregon and NFL lineman Gary Zimmerman 2 years prior, the tradition was only supposed to be a one-time event. But it became so popular that when Zimmerman stepped away from the emphatic ride, Koke was approached with the rare opportunity to lead the Ducks into the stadium by former Oregon Assistant Athletic Director Jim Bartko. It didn't take long for the Duck to hitch a ride, and a tradition was born. For the past 21 seasons, the Duck and the motorcycle have been inseparable, leading the Ducks into Autzen Stadium.
Curiosity moves the world. Why do we call it a boom mic?
Kind of fun looking back at that. So, and guys, it was fun for me because I haven't gotten the chance to talk to Doug Koke very much. I see him all the time, but he's always wearing a helmet. He's decked out in all of his awesome gear. Well, I got a chance to talk with Megan Robertson. I asked Vicky Strand about this, some of the longtime folks around Oregon athletics, and man, it was just cool hearing about how it was a one-off thing with Gary Zimmerman, and then next thing you know, the Duck hops on and everybody loves it. And now it's a
pretty
tradition
cool
that
need to talk to Doug. He has some great stories.
Well, I'm sure. And what was fun for me too, because I think you guys will appreciate this. We were talking with Rob Mullins on the show on Tuesday, and Rob and I were talking about this subject, and he said, Oregon's tradition is to be untraditional, right? Like that really, I think, was the bigger saying that was around here maybe 10 years ago.
Yes.
I would say.
Yes.
I think that now, though, because the fan experience and because of the rise of all the programs over the last 20 years, some great traditions have been established. Yeah. You think about that. That's only about 21 seasons old, right? And then you think about Shout. That's really only 10, 13 seasons old, I believe. I mean, guys, there's some great traditions now that have really, I think, sprung up out of that idea that Oregon is untraditional, and that's because of the fan experience at Autzen and beyond, and it's pretty darn cool.
Well, I think common denominator in those traditions coming up and arriving and being accepted is winning.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's, you do the traditions, but they don't seem special if it's like you're not very good. But when you're winning at a pace that Oregon has been in football, basketball, cross-country, track and field, soccer now, I mean, gosh.
And yet they feel like they've always been here.
They do.
They just become part of the norm.
Yep.
It's cool.
I love it.
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's really awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was fun to look back at
Good
that.
background on that, too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Nice job.
And also, I mean, it's also one of the easiest things to get video of ever. So it's pretty cool.
There's been some, I mentioned in the game last week, there's been some touchy moments when Doug makes that turn and comes by the visiting team. You're just waiting for one of the visiting team to reach out with a pole or something or throw a helmet.
Yeah.
It's
and the
like,
Ducks always taunting a player or two,
always
just by waving.
Kisses or waving.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is funny,
stuff.
Scott, doing the
Yeah. There have been a few times, too, where he's done some fun stuff. Like I remember the anniversary of the pick, and they put Kenny on the back.
Yes.
Rode the same path back that he took back to the end zone for the pick. Stuff like that. Ways to incorporate stuff like that, I think it's pretty darn cool.
Kenny said he was scared to death.
Oh, man.
Oh, can you imagine?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Well, so I also learned, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, like the Duck's been on it, but it used to be a few different people that did the intro, right? Like there were a few different people that would get on the back of the motorcycle. I think Coach Bellotti did it once or twice.
Yeah, they would. Chip Kelly wrote it in on a game day one day.
How'd that go?
Early morning. It was cool because nobody knew it was him.
Oh.
He had a duck hat on.
That's right, yeah.
And he rode in, got the hat off, and it was Chip Kelly on the duck, on the motorcycle. And then he went up and talked to the guys.
Was Doug driving him in, or?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
I was going to say it was Chip and a duck head on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Well, he wasn't. He wasn't operating.
He wasn't in the driver's seat.
No.
All right, that's that makes
coach,
me feel a
the
little
coach,
better.
Lou. Did he wrote it in once too? I think he wrote.
Lou Holstead, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, he did. Yeah,
he
you're
did.
right.
So.
Fun traditions. And Nitra just pointed out Matt Curdy's coming home is now a new fun tradition between first and second quarter.
Fans all sing it. I love it.
Yeah, and so I think that it's pretty cool just to see. And so we had a fun way to look back at that. A quick timeout. When we return, a couple final thoughts, guys. Let's talk a little more Oregon and Stanford, revisiting some of the keys to victory and how big of a game this is for the Ducks heading into their bye week as well on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. And if there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Jerry, I think that you'll appreciate this comment. William says, do we need to have a Halloween because we've been wearing masks and eating candy for months now?
That's
pretty good.
That's a great
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mac here in the Country Financial Studio. Jerry Allen's here. Mike Jorgensen's here. Guys, we only got a few more minutes before we hit the road, joining the Oregon football team on the flight down to the Bay Area. Big-time matchup. And there have been some great battles between these two teams, really over the last 2 decades especially. And I'll tell you, these have been the 2 banner carriers for the Pac-12, not just in the North, for the entire conference. And, frankly, there's been some teams that have played spoiler for the other side a few times, and the Ducks are hoping to take care of business and not have that be the case this time.
Well, it's only their second Pac-12 game, and it's a road game against a really good team. And, Jorgie, normally this is a situation where you go, how do we handle the crowd? How do we handle the road trip? Oregon's already been there. They went to Ohio State. They went to the Shoe. They handled the crowd. They handled all of that. So that's an experience they now can use for this road trip.
Yeah, and they're not going to see a crowd like they saw at Ohio State by any means.
Not at all.
And in fact, I think with a beautiful sunny day, 84 degrees at kickoff down in the Bay Area, I don't anticipate it's going to be a full stadium either, other than I think people think that Stanford is pretty good, so I think the Stanford crowd's going to be decent, if nothing else. But it's one of those games where I think this team needs to get the taste of 4 good quarters in their mouth, because they really have struggled, even with, I don't want to say they struggled with Stony Brook, but they didn't play good 4 complete quarters in that game. They struggled obviously a little bit at the end of the second quarter, beginning in all of the third quarter against Arizona. They want to be able to put a complete game together, and I think this is a good foe to do it against. Stanford's a good team, guys. We just continue to say that, and I think people say, well, 2-2, and blah, blah, blah. Look how they looked against Kansas State. This is a good team. Wait until you see it. And I think Oregon is going to rise to the occasion and show how good Oregon is as well.
Yeah, a couple things. I think that Kansas State, that was a dud. That was just 9 a.m. kickoff, whatever. But it was a dud. And now they've got their quarterback, it looks like. UCLA, they didn't start well. And it dug themselves in a hole. They had a chance in the fourth quarter to win that game, but UCLA was able to pull away. So I think that Stanford has struggled in some of those same realms too, but a good team. Now, if you're Oregon, I will say too, the Ducks, I think, have been searching for that consistency all season long. If you're going to do it, doing it heading into your bye week is a great time, right? Because then you're going to have even more confidence, I think, coming out of that bye week. And, guys, I feel like Stanford, in the way that they match up with Oregon, the Ducks can win in the trenches, and that's a testament to what Coach Cristobal has done. That was always the knock in the Stanford-Oregon matchup every time, right? It was, well, Stanford's going to control the line of scrimmage. Well, maybe they didn't always do that, but I think Oregon matches up really positively in that regard.
Don't get behind Stanford. Stanford averages 3 touchdowns a quarter, 21, 21, 27, 21. Third quarter, they've only allowed opponents 6 points. So the beginning of the second half, which has been tough for Oregon, is going to be critical in this game.
And I'm looking forward to, and knocking on wood, that we get to see the Kayvon Thibodeau that we know Kayvon Thibodeau can be. He can change a game defensively, and from what it sounds like, he's going to be in this game and getting after it. I'm hoping it's at 100%, because that makes a world of difference against a quarterback like McKee. UCLA at times got to him, created a lot of pressure, got some sacks, got that lead, and then we're able to hold him off. I'd love to see Thibodeau be able to do the same thing, because he makes everybody else on that defense that much better.
Sure would help. I remember Brandon Dorlus talked a lot about the fact that if teams are going to double-team Kayvon Thibodeau, really opens up the entire defense. Now the Ducks might be able to do that. And Keon Ware-Hudson said this week, guys, that getting Mace Funa back really helped.
Yes.
Now if you get Kayvon Thibodeau back, really going to help. I will say, too, I think that just finally my last thought is, the Ducks, in searching for consistency, they've done it at times. We know it's in them. Now it's just a question of putting it all together. And how many teams in America have really put it all together right now?
Yeah, it's tough to do.
Not
it's
many.
Tough to do this early.
Not many.
We make it sound like it's easy, and it's tough.
It's
to
not.
do.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult. And I will also just say, special teams, guys, keep it up, Ducks.
I like what Oregon's doing.
The special teams has been great.
Going to be a lot of 50-50 balls thrown tomorrow. They're big basketball tight ends.
Basketball
against
players.
Oregon's corners. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of those.
Speaking of some of those jump balls, you're hoping Bennett Williams might take a few more away, because he's added another Player of the Week award, the Jim Thorpe Award, Player of the Week, Bennett Williams. National Player of the Week honors just coming in left and right. Congratulations to women's soccer, a 2-0 win over Cal. They're going to be on the road at Stanford on Sunday. So good luck to Graham Abel and his squad.
They might
Full
be at the game.
Of action. He said they might be. Yeah. Full weekend of action. Volleyball tonight at 6 o'clock. See you at Stanford.
These are the sounds of a dinner. A dinner that almost didn't happen. A dinner now served, thanks to people like you. Due to COVID-19, 17 million more Americans may face hunger. Feeding America is helping our neighbors in need. And if you're able, you can too. Donations are being accepted at feedingamerica.org/coronavirus. Brought to you by the Ad Council